In this video, I'm going to show you how to view the source code for questions that have been written, how to copy questions, and how to create your own new questions. So first I'm just going to log in, and I'm going to open up one of my trial courses. So one thing I did was I created a homework set, and I don't have any questions in it. If I go to the questions link, I can select libraries and add questions to my homework assignment like I would normally do. So I'm going to open up a homework section. We'll go Module 4, Investigation 3, and then hit Search. Now you'll notice that all of the questions that are in this library are displayed. And there's this source column. So if you click View, you can actually view the source code for that problem. So if I hit View on this, it pops up all of the code for this question. So it tells me the description, which is like its name, the author, question type, common control, which is the kind of the variable where you define your variables, and then it has your question text, which is what is displayed to the user. So if you want to go in and look at the code for different problems, you can actually open up this source code and take a peek. So if I go back to this last page, there's also a template link next to each question. So if I hit that template button, it'll pull up this window right here, and this is the actual question editor window. This is where you can actually write questions and edit the question. So you'll notice that it's going to put the description of the original question, and then it's going to put copy by so-and-so. So maybe you want to title it something else, like trial question for Kent State University. One thing you might want to do is change this use rights to allow use by all. And then one thing to be very attentive to is my library assignments. This is the library that this question is going to go to when you save it. So right now it's just saving it in the library that you pulled it from, but I prefer that you don't put it where you found it and put it in a new library. So if you're from Kent State, I've actually set up you guys with the library. So you notice that if you hit the select libraries, you can uncheck this original library and then open up the KSU pathways, and you could assign it to Module 4. So now you'll notice that this thing is going to be assigned to Module 4. Now within here, you can edit all of the different parts of the question. So three main things to know about writing a question is question type, common control, and question text. So question type is the type of answer it will accept, the system will accept. So maybe you want to do a calculated number. Maybe you want your students to enter a numerical computation. Then you pick calculated number. Or if you want them to enter a formula or function, you use the function type. The multi-part will allow you to enter multiple question types, so you can have multiple parts to your problem. Common control is where you define all your variables. So I'm not going to go into great detail about this, but you'll notice that I defined some random variables. I've defined what the answer should be, and some other various variables. Now the question text is what is actually displayed to the user. So you'll notice that this looks just kind of like a Microsoft Word editor. It's just a nice rich text editor that you can enter in all of your question text. And you'll notice that I'm calling in some variables that were defined in common control. You can do this to call in where you want your answer boxes to be, or if you defined variables from your common control, you can actually call them in just by calling $EQF. Now once you're done with this, you can do save and test question, and it should, about that. So if you hit this save and test question, it should pop up a window. I don't know why mine isn't, but it'll pop up a window just like this one right here. It'll allow you to test the question, and you can show the answer. You can actually submit it and regenerate new random numbers. So notice that when I regenerate it, it's just going to regenerate new random numbers. So that's the basics of adding new questions or using some of the old questions as a template. If you're involved in writing questions, you'll notice that in this question editor window, there is a writing questions help. If you click on that link, it'll pop up this window, and this is just really great documentation on how to write everything. So this will kind of go through all of the basics of writing questions, and at the top there's a table of contents that you can click on to go to different parts of the document. So you can read through this. If you read through this whole thing, you'll get a pretty good grasp on how to write new questions.